Welcome back to Fast Market here on the TD Ameritrade Network. Let's bring in our next guest for our cash tag segment, and that's going to be Andy Swan, the co-founder at LikeFolio. Welcome back to the show, Andy.
Hey, happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you. Hopefully you're recovering after that Derby Day. I know you guys probably celebrated that heftily this past weekend, but we're talking PayPal, Andy. Shares are down about 11% from year-ago levels, up 6% this year, but it just seems like it's stuck in a rut here. What kind of data are you guys seeing out of LikeFolio?
Yeah, we're really seeing really good reasons why the stock is stuck in a rut here. There's a lot of conflict in terms of LikeFolio data. From a long-term perspective, I think PayPal is very much in the right place. In terms of consumer preferences, we continue to see the adoption of digital wallets grinding higher, and the consumer preferring that method of banking and paying and all of those things that PayPal is really good at. So digital wallet mentions up really well, while normal shopping and e-commerce are down. So we like that for PayPal. They're in the right space. Against peers, long term, we think they're doing better than peers as well. When we compare them to SoFi or Coinbase or Block, we're really seeing PayPal outpacing the competition, although all of them are down. And that's what concerns me going into this earnings report. The entire sector here is under pressure because the consumer is under pressure. And we saw it last week when Block came out and said that they're seeing underlying consumer pressure that's going to keep the spend per user deflated into the future. And the stock, even though they had an earnings beat, the stock fell on that news. So I think PayPal's in a similar situation. I think longer term, PayPal is a great play, a great winner here. But in the short term, we think that the overall economic conditions for the consumer may win the day, and the risk is to the downside.
Andy, when you look, obviously, if there's a slowdown coming, purchasing power for consumers will affect their ability to use PayPal and the number of transactions, right? That's just obvious. That's economics 101. But you can make a case. Venmo is now an extremely popular tool to use. I'm 100 years old and I use Venmo. That's significant. I don't even know anyone that uses Cash App or has used it. They've got some horrible news out lately on Square or Block in general, as well as Cash App. So they're getting better at their job while their competitors are getting weaker. The question is, what do they, they were able to raise some of their total payment volume even last year with a struggling economy. I guess what I'm asking is, if this economy starts to bottom and recover, like we're all talking about, their consumer stays strong, this stock should be a huge winner going forward. Is that the way you guys see it? Because it looks like Cash App is starting to slide a little, not gain the momentum that Venmo has. Venmo seems to be the leader, kind of like an Uber and Lyft relationship there. Venmo is the driver in terms of going back and forth. Is this stock just ready to go here? It just needs a little upswing in the economy?
Yeah, it needs an upswing in the economy. Unfortunately, LikeFolio data from the consumer perspective doesn't see that happening really anytime super soon. We're seeing indications of people's credit cards being maxed out, going up. We're seeing indications of people's bank accounts being depleted, going up. So the consumer's really under a lot of pressure here, and I think that's going to be what holds PayPal back in the short term. But long term, you're absolutely right, and I love your analogy. I think this is the Uber to Block kind of being Lyft, and PayPal. It was kind of down for the count there for a little while. I didn't hear that many. Once they once eBay kind of flatlined in terms of popularity, PayPal just kind of stuck around. But what they did in the background was really create a very valuable portfolio of offerings for consumers that is now coming to fruition. And I think this is a company that executes really, really well. So if you have a long-term point of view, Well, I have to tell you, I think that this earnings report, if we get a down move after this, I think it could be a fantastic long-term opportunity.
Yeah, and Andy, I know you guys focus a lot on happiness. So you've got some competitors in this fintech space. It seems like the moat is still growing, but growth has slowed a little bit. When you look at the happiness numbers, does that equate to maybe a positive earnings score on this company compared to maybe some of their competitors?
No, again, I think the consumer happiness levels, it shows us that PayPal is better than its peers. And 70% happy versus others at 65%, I think is really good. But going into this specific earnings report, we are bearish on PayPal. We think that Block kind of paved the way for how this will go. We think the company will come out, report pretty good numbers from the first quarter because the first part of the first quarter was so strong. But now we've really seen pressure on the consumer start to take hold, and I think it's going to be tough for them to have an extremely positive outlook going forward.
All right. Good stuff as always, Andy. Appreciate the data. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks.
All right.